Hello, Carlos. Felice for my April checkup. I just want to touch base with you. Couple things I've been involved in, been doing. So we are still making progress with the microsite for the policy brief, and we are at the point now where we have these kind of pathways that we've identified for parents. For the various groups. So each Scott asked me to kind of decide 3 to 4 things that would be kind of a pathway onto the site, and so have a context document for each group. There's a context document, the tool, the action, and the end results. We've kind of mapped this out for parents, educators, community members, policymakers, and advocates. And each of them kind of have like a way they're going to be going through the slides, the site. And so we've been spending time figuring out which are the best tools to use, which ones need to be can be used as is, and which ones need to be branded or adjusted for with the MNEEP branding style. Another question that's come up is like, how should this site look? Should it be more like what the imprint site, which is a kind of its own separate thing, or if it should be kind of like our original intention was have a microsite that's kind of embedded within the MNEEP site? I believe Scott is going to take that up with you, but that's something that needs to be discussed and decided as we continue on with the process. As I mentioned to you before, as soon as we have like a date when the site is going to be available in a very beta form, we're going to talk about it with the people who attended the forum, and we're going to get some feedback before we do a full live launch, and then the social media campaign. Hopefully all that will take place in the next 2 months for the work to be done and be completed. Another project that I'm working on, Jennifer asked me to be a part of the planning the CRT summit that we're hoping to have in August. And so she and I have been meeting. Also, let me first say, Scott and Molly and I meet every week to kind of go over the plan and have each of us have action items that we complete for the next time we meet. So I met with them last week, and I will meet with them again next week. Also, working with Jennifer, we're talking about planning a critical race theory summit. And one of the things that we talked about was this site where the MDHR data reports and analytics. You and I had spoken about this earlier when we first talked about the consultantship. And so one of the things that I've been doing is I look at for each of the districts on here. I'm halfway done with this process, and look at their initial agreement and plan, and then look at what they're doing for their update. And so I look at what they're doing for the update, and right now I'm going through and kind of listing the different things that they've done to complete the work, or to complete the that they said they've done to reduce suspensions and expulsion data. My plan is for the next step to this would be to kind of decide what are some themes. Already there's some themes around people saying they're using culturally responsive teaching, PBIS, restorative practices, and I think that MNEEP could have a role in this. I think that, I know we talked about this before, but I think MNEEP absolutely should be a part of the diversion committee potentially, and then also provide some technical or even adaptive assistance in how to make some of these things come to be. I think it's really a rich opportunity for MNEEP, because for instance, all of these districts that I've looked at so far, like I said, about halfway through, all of them have a whole different plan, template and structure, and what they're measuring and why and how. All of it. There's no standardization at all. And I think it could benefit from that to an extent. And so those are the things that I've kind of been working with and diving into. So the kind of things that I originally had, and I also just picked up this other thing with the helpfully planning the summit. Jennifer mentioned that you might be interested in extending my contract a little bit longer or a lot longer. Definitely be interested in hearing more about that. If that's something you're interested in, I'm interested in that. Additionally, just so you know, I was absent. I went out of town for a trip in the first part of April, so April 10th, but I did make up that date, as I mentioned to you, on April 25th. Lastly, I've already been paid for April because I have been submitting 2 invoices, one to the bill.com and then also to the MNEEP address. And apparently, when that happens, that generates 2 payments. And so the first time that happened, I'm sending them back to Daryl, and he was canceling. So this time, it happened in the middle of April. Again, I sent it back to him for him to cancel it, but he didn't cancel. So I ended up getting paid for April on April 22nd. So I won't be submitting another invoice until May the end of May. I just wanted to let you know that it wasn't, I'm not trying to do that. It's not something I was intentionally doing, but it's very difficult to get a finite answer. It's difficult for me, I should say, to get a finite answer from Daryl regarding which method I should use to submit my invoices. So I'm just going to try to do one invoice. I'm going to submit to build.com for May and see if I ever get paid. I'm just going to try a different thing, see if I get a different result. So as always, you can reach out to me if you have any questions, email or call. I'm excited about the work and this projects that are happening with MNEEP and all the different things. So hopefully you're having a good day, and maybe one day I'll actually see you. Thank you. Goodbye.